Hello students. Um, I have already discussed with you the scope of financial management under that traditional approach and a modern approach. Traditional approach, it's been discussed. The second one is modern approach. Under modern approach, there are three decisions. They are financing decision, investment decision, and dividend policy decision, wherein I have already discussed the two decisions, that is financing decision and investment decision, and what are the functional areas under the two decisions also I have discussed with you. This is the last decisions under modern approach of financial management. Under that there are two functional areas. Dividend, dividend is given to the shareholders as a return for their investment. Now, once the company earns the profit, it has to be shared or divided among the shareholders. That is nothing but dividend decisions. So, it is up to the company whether they distribute entire profit to the shareholders as dividend or a portion of the profit to the shareholders. Now the first one is profit allocation. Now profit has to be allocated. Sometimes what happens is they allocate the profit like 100% profit, out of which 30% is distributed, remaining 70% will be kept as a reserves for future development. It may be in the form of general reserves or it may be form of a dividend equalization fund. Okay, so profit is to be allocated among various types of reserves like general reserves, dividend equalization fund. Such an allocation is made in line with the plans of organization regarding organic and inorganic growth. For the growth of the business, in organic or inorganic growth, this is kept so that for the future of the future, if the company faces any problems or contingencies, they can use the funds. A decision must be taken regarding the type of reserves to be created. The amount to be transferred annually to these reserves are to be used internally or invested in outside securities. Here, profit allocation is, suppose a company earns at the end of the financial year a profit of rupees 50,000. This is about small undertaking. So 50,000. Out of 50,000, they decide to keep reserves for their future growth and development of rupees 25,000. So 25,000 means 50% they keep it as a reserve and 50% they distribute to the shareholders as a dividend. So why do they keep the reserves is for the organic and inorganic growth and also for the contingencies. Next is framing dividend policies. Now when you give a dividend dividend to the shareholders, there are two types of policies to be followed. One is liberal dividend policy and another is conservative dividend policy. Liberal dividend policy is entire profit is given to the shareholders as dividend. Conservative means they conserve or they keep certain amount with them. Only a portion of amount is distributed to the shareholders as a dividend. So while framing the policy, while giving a dividend to the shareholders, they have to decide whether it is a liberal dividend policy or a conservative dividend policy. It also be decided whether the company will declare only a final dividend after finalizing the profit and loss account or to declare the number of interim dividend periodically. That is, they have to decide whether they will give only annual dividend or sometimes a company may also go for a number of this interim dividend also quarterly. They may distribute the dividend to the shareholders. Next, in order to achieve the wealth maximization objective, an appropriate dividend policy must be developed. What is a policy and what is the appropriate policy, and it has to be developed. One aspect of dividend policy is to decide whether to distribute all the profits in the form of dividend or to distribute a part of profit and retain the balance. While deciding the optimum dividend payout ratio, these policies has to be taken. So what is the optimum dividend policies to be calculated? How much would be the optimum decisions to be taken? These has to be retained to be followed by the organization, whether they go for the liberal dividend policy or a conservative dividend policy. Sometimes the company may also, finance manager may also divide for the expansion and growth. When they go for expansion and growth, usually they go for the conservative dividend policy. And a decision must be taken either whether they give a stable dividend or a cash dividend or a stock dividend. It is decided among themselves. So these are the two functional areas of dividend policy decision. One is profit allocation to the general reserve equalization fund and remaining to the dividend to the shareholders. Framing dividend policy means or whether it is a liberal dividend policy or a conservative dividend policy. So here we have finished the scope of financial management, that is traditional approach and modern approach. Both are important for the exam. The scope itself you will get it for 24 marks, and separately they may ask you traditional approach for 6 marks and modern approach for 12 marks. Okay, now let us move to the next concept, that is objectives of financial management. There are 5 separate objectives we have under financial management. They are profit maximization, wealth maximization, imparting sufficient liquidity, then adding to shareholders' value, and corporate governance. So these are the several objectives of the firm. Under that, the two main objectives of financial management is profit maximization and wealth maximization. These two concepts we are going to study in details. Other concepts we are just brushing up, that is we just want to know the meaning, but these two concepts is important, profit maximization and wealth maximization. They may ask separately, explain profit maximization and explain wealth maximization for 6 marks. So it will be a detailed explanation of this point will be profit maximization and wealth maximization. So let us see the first objective of profit maximization, that is what is profit. Profit is the income they earn at the end of the financial year, that is they'll come to know what is a profit or what is the income they have earned. So it refers to the maximization of the dollar income of the firm. Dollar income is nothing but, it may be, if it is a foreign companies, they will be measured in terms of dollars, in terms of rupees. So how much income they have earned. It is a traditional approach and the primary objective of financial management. Every organization, in order to develop and grow, they have their profit margin. So it is a primary objective of any organization. Under profit maximization objective, the firm attempts to adopt those investment projects which yields a larger profit and drop all other unprofitable activities. So usually a business, while taking up any decision, wants to select those projects which gives them a larger profits and minimize their cost, and they will reject those projects which is unprofitable to them. It implies that every decision related to business is evaluated in the light of profits. Every project, whatever they want to invest, they forecast in advance what would be the profit they are going to earn in the future. If it is profitable, then only they adopt those, otherwise they will drop those projects. So similarly, in organization, profit plays an important role. In maximizing profit, input-output relation is crucial. Either input is minimized to achieve the given amount of profit, or the output is maximized with a given input of input. That is input and output. Input is nothing but how much money you are investing. Output is nothing but the profit. So every organization wants their input should be less and the output should be more. So they will try to reduce their input, so their output increases. So profit is always or would be a main objective of the organization. The objective of profit maximization reduce risk and uncertainty factor in the business decision and operation. Thus, the objective of these objective enhance the productivity and improves the efficiency of the firm. This increases the efficiency of the firm. So productivity as well as the efficiency of the firm can be increased through this objective, that is profit maximization. Now let us see what are the favorable argument for profit maximization. What are the favorable things we take into account in the profit maximization? That is, it is important. Everybody says that profit should be a main objective. So what are the favorable points? One is main aim is earning profit. Every organization's main aim is to earn profit. Without profit they will not survive. Okay, they may survive for a few years, but later on they have to increase their profits too, in order to maintain consistency as well as to grow in future, grow their business in future. Next is profit is a parameter of business operation. It is operation. It indicates efficiency and economic prosperity of the business. So economic prosperity of the business can be maintained through this parameter. So parameter is the profit. If the company has its profit, it indicates efficient business. Profit reduces risk of the business concern. It reduces the risk of the concern. Profit is a main source of finance. Profit is a main income for the company. Profitability meets the social needs also. It helps in safeguarding the interest of the stakeholders. So profit is essential for satisfying social objectives also. A firm, by pursuing the objective of profit maximization, also maximize social welfare. See, social needs. So social needs means the society will have certain needs. Okay, when they invest the money, when the society or the public, we invest a money, we always check whether the company earns a profit. If it is profit is satisfiable, if it is growing, then we are going to invest there. So profit, if they keep as a main objective, then it safeguards the interest of the stakeholders. Stakeholders in the sense it is customers, investors, governments, then all other outsiders who are indirectly related to the business. So in order to meet the social needs, profitability plays an important role. So these are the points for favorable argument. These are in arguing that the profit should be an objective of the firm. Now let us see the next one, that is unfavorable argument for profit maximization. Some say that profit should not be the main objective. Profit only should not be the main objective of the organization. There are some other objectives also should be included, not only focusing only on profit. They should focus on other activities or other functions of financial management. Now how it is argued is, the first point is, it is argued that profit maximization is a consequences of perfect competition, and in face of imperfect modern market, it cannot be legitimate objective of the firm. This profit becomes a main objective when it is a perfect competition. When there is when there is a perfect competition regarding price, everything, there will be opponents for you. So that time we can say profit maximization is an objective, because each one will be striving their best to give a best product to the consumers and to attract the consumers. And in face of imperfect modern market, it cannot be legitimate. Imperfect in the sense there will not be a competition, that is, there will be a monopoly in the market. What happens is that it does not create any main objective of profit, because profit will come to them because they are the imperfect market, where the profit doesn't play much important role, other than they have to maintain the profit, and to maintain the to satisfy the consumers becomes the main objective. Profit maximization leads to exploitation of workers and consumers. See, profit maximization will exploit workers. What happens is they have to work for day and night, and they have to give their best to increase their production, give quality, etc. But if they are not paid properly, the payment will be same, but they have to increase their standards. So that time it is even consumers also, consumers will be charged more. If there is a monopoly market, nobody is there for competition, so they may charge more to increase their profit. Software industries, their margin is very high, so they keep their profit margin as very high, so it becomes exploitation to the consumers. Next point, this concept was developed in the earlier 19th century when the business were mostly in the form of sole proprietorship business. The only aim was to enhance his individual wealth and personal power, which could easily be satisfied by the profit maximization objective. See, these the profit maximization objective is not applicable today. Why? Because it was there was 19th century. At that time, there was a few business was there, and the business was not much enlarged, and there was no much competition. Nowadays it is not like that. We have very large business. Not only that, we have competition from Indian market, foreign markets, as well as foreign businesses, MNCs. Everybody is entering in India and want to start a business. It means there is a competition among us and among us as well as from foreign companies. So in this situation, if you focus only on profit maximization, then the organization is never going to survive. So there are other areas also they have to concentrate in order to develop, grow and expand. However, in the present days business world, the concept of limited liability has been introduced, which has separated ownership and management. Nowadays, business is financed not only by its shareholders but also by creditors, financial institutions, professionals, managers, etc. So nowadays, as I told you, there is a lot of competitions. There are not only the shareholders who invest, but there are other institutions also. They are ready to invest in the companies, which creates a impact that they should their concentration should not only be a profit maximization. It should be some other like wealth maximization, adding to shareholders, corporate governance, good quality product. All those counts for the development of the business. Next is profit maximization creates immoral practices such as corrupt practices, unfair trade practices, etc. It may create unfair, corrupt practice because they are trying. They have to increase their profit. So the quality may be, they may use a very poor quality of product ingredients or any products for the manufacturing, and they charge high price. So corrupt practice, unfair trade, unfair, fair. The practices what the legal rights, they don't follow the legal regulations and want to enhance their profit, so they may create unfair trade practices to maximize the profit. So this is unfavorable for the firm. Next is profit maximization objective leads to inequality among stakeholders such as customers, suppliers, public, shareholders. So inequality will be there, immoral exploitation will be there, because profits becomes the main objective, so they don't think about the customers. Think in the sense the customers, they charge more and sometimes may not be a quality product, or inconvenience to the suppliers, public. All those things may happen in case of if profit maximization is a main objective of the organization. Next we will see what is the drawbacks of a profit maximization. It is a vague, that is, it is not clear, it is not precise, it is not definite. This objective is not clear in the sense what kind of profit you are asking, whether it is in terms of money or in terms of wealth, it is not clear as if very precise about what profit maximization means actually. So it creates some unnecessary opinion regarding earning habits of the business. It ignores the time value of money. The money value will always decreases when the year passes. So profit what you have earned today, the value of that will not be same after 2 years. So money value depreciates when year by year, but the concept of time value of money is not being considered in case of profit maximization. Third one is it ignores the risk. Risk is always a profit maximization does not consider risk. Risk may be internal, external, which will affect the overall operation of the business concerns. So risk will be there for the business, whether it will be internal risk or external risk, but risk will be there either from the consumers or from the customers or from the manufacturers or from the workers. So risk will be there. They may lose the business, or they may reduce their customers, or they may not be providing a quality product. So all these risk may comes. When the risk comes, what happens to the profit, whether it is considered, how much would be the profit, all those which is not being discussed under profit maximization. So we are studying this concept in a detail. What is profit maximization? So profit, as you know, it is a earning or income of the firm, and under profit maximization we have studied what is a favorable argument for profit maximization, what is unfavorable argument for profit maximization, and the drawbacks of profit maximization. Now remaining four objectives of financial management we are going to discuss in the next recording. Till then, you have to go through this the today's sessions regarding dividend policy decisions and the objectives under that profit maximization. Thank you.